Tiago, só um instante, por favor. Sorry, you were muted for some reason, so we cannot hear you. Can you unmute your phone, please? Your microphone.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, and good morning, y'all. We are here now for our second talk of the day with Eduardo de Freitas, and he is a teacher trainer at PBF Guarulhos in São Paulo, and he has been teaching English for 7 years and has also been a pedagogical coordinator for 5. He got into teacher training in 2016. He holds the TKT, CAE, and the CELTA, and he's about to start the ICELT. Apart from being an active member of BrELT, he's also the second secretary in the Teacher Development SIG and one of the moderators at the wonderful BrELT community. Ladies and gentlemen, Eduardo de Freitas with you.
Eduardo, we cannot hear you. Can you unmute your phone, please?
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you, Thiago, for the kind words. Can you all hear me well?
Yes, now we can.
Fantastic. So let me share my screen here. All right. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank quite a few people here before I start talking about the TKT. First one of them is the BrELT community. I'd like to thank all the moderators for the opportunity of allowing me to speak in this event. Also, I would like to thank all the moderators for inviting me to be part of this amazing team that seeks professional development and really puts a lot of effort and devotes a lot of their time into it for Brazilian teachers. Not only Brazilian, for English teachers in Brazil. Also, I'd like to thank some of my ELT friends for all the support, for all the moments I was about to freak out, like right now, I'm super nervous. And especially Igor Cavalcanti, who has been this greatest friend of all, and he's fantastic, and he's just helped me so much in my professional life. Well, for starters, I would like for you to get something here. What do you think this picture represents? Something that we all have, but I would like to see your answers on the chat box for those who are in the Google Hangout. Yeah, it is a smartphone. Very good. Well, please get your phones and do the following. Open your browser and type Kahoot.it from your browser. Please do it. Then after you do it, type the PIN number. There will be a place for you to type a number, so you can type this number here, 237616, and then you hit enter.
Two, 237616.
I'm gonna wait a while so you can all join the survey. Okay, so I'll just switch my screen here. Type your nickname and then you press enter. I'll switch I'll put another screen here so you can see what I see. Good. So in this, I don't know if you're all familiar with this game. It's a great tool for you guys to use in class with all the levels. You can adapt, you can organize the game. We can talk a little bit about it later on because my time is very limited. There will be some questions related to the TKT. And I would like you to answer so that I can see how much you know about the test. And not only how much you know, but also what you've heard of it. Because among the moderators of BrELT, we could see that there is a cultural difference between how people see the TKT in São Paulo and in Rio. So let's just play this game so we can get the hang of it. So, ready? Let's start. There are 6 questions only. First one of them, are you familiar with the TKT? Now you can answer on your phone. If it's yes, you hit the red part. If it's no, you hit the blue part. You have about 20 seconds. Oh, it's quite a tie. So we have 11 people who are familiar with the TKT and 10 people who are not really. What it will be? Do you know what TKT stands for? Once again, do you know what TKT stands for? Oh, fantastic. So we have 18 people that are familiar with the acronym. TKT stands for Teaching Knowledge Test. Okay, for those who don't know. Do you know anybody who has sit the test? Red for yes, blue for no. Again, do you know anybody who has sit the test? Yes, red, blue, no. Okay, 12 people know, 11 people don't. Fantastic. What did this person say about the test? So red, it was super hard. Blue, it was difficult, but I could go through it. Yellow, it was okay. Or red, oh, super easy. Oh, super easy. Oh, super hard. So, yeah, we can see that there are extremes, either super hard or super easy. Nice. Do you know anyone who has taken the prep course? Red for yes, blue for no.
Or if you're colorblind, it's triangle for yes, and what is that shape for no? Diamond for no.
Okay, yeah. So this is one of the main differences that we could see when we talked among the BrELT moderators, is that most people in Rio just go for the exam, and in São Paulo, people tend to take the prep course before actually sitting the exam. And one more question: what did this person say about the course for those who actually took it? Triangle, it was fantastic, career changing. Diamond, it was very good. I could learn some new stuff. Circle, nah, it was okay. Or square, it was repetitive, and I didn't learn a lot of new things. Cool, cool, cool. So most of people thought it was fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so now I'll get back to my slides. And then let me just open it up here. Okay, so let's go on. As Alberto gave you a brief explanation of what the TKT is about, there are 3 core modules. There's Module 1, Module 2, and Module 3. These 3 modules are the basic ones, are the core modules for the test. And there are also 2 specialist modules. The CLIO, which is Content, Language, and Learning, and the Young Learners test. So the TKT is not only the 3 ones, Module 1, 2, and 3. There are also these 2 options. We'll also, we're not really focusing on CLIO and YL exams here today, because I believe that the 3 other ones should be the first ones that a teacher should sit and be prepared for, most importantly. It's important to highlight, I'm not sure if you can see this slide really well, so I will summarize it for you. It is a table that I got from the Cambridge framework, CPD framework, that it highlights the difference between the TKT and the CELTA, which is a question that people actually have. Ricardo Barros, which will be the next speaker, he'll be talking about the CELTA more deeply, so he'll be able to highlight those differences anymore. For example, TKT modules 1, 2, and 3. The teaching age group, it's primary, secondary, or adults. It can be taken pre-service. Course participation is not required, so you don't have to take a course to get the certificate. There is no assessed teaching practice for the certificate purposes, and continuous assessment or coursework, there's no such a thing as that. It's a paper-based test. So basically, you don't have to take the test to take the exam. You just go, sign up for it, and do it. The TKT Club works pretty much the same way. So does the Young Learners. However, it changes a little bit in the teaching age group. So it focuses more on primary learners. And the CELTA, which is completely different. The teaching age group is for adults. It can be taken pre-service. The participation is required either face-to-face or online, blended options. There are assessed teaching practices. If I'm not mistaken, 6 hours. I might be saying something wrong, so I'll leave it for Ricardo. And there is continuous assessment and in coursework, but there is no test. So the CELTA is another, it's a whole new ballgame. So it's completely different. Let's focus a little bit on Module 1. Module 1 highlights the knowledge you have about language itself. So the first part is describing language and language skills. So in this part, you study a lot about systems and skills, like all the 4 skills: listening, speaking, writing, and reading, and the language systems as well, which is grammar, phonology, vocabulary, and function. Background to language learning, learner needs and characteristics, motivation, the role of error, the concept of L1 and L2. It's also presented in this part. And background to language teaching as well, approaches to teaching, presentation techniques, and also a part that people tend to overlook is the part of assessment types and tasks. But it's pretty important. And all the exams that have analyzed, they do include questions related to assessment types. And people tend to just go through it in a very brief way. So if you're taking the course, but if you're self-studying, just focus a little bit more on that. Then there is Module 2. In Module 2, you have preparing and planning a lesson or a sequence of lessons. So identifying and selecting aims, planning the stages of a lesson, thinking of sequence of thinking of sequence of lessons, what should come next, and how things should fall together. The selection of resources, such as materials and aids you can include in your classroom, using technology and all the other features we can include in a classroom. Also, selection of course books, which is very, very, very important. Then Module 3. Module 3 is related to teachers and learners, language in the classroom. It's also one of the things that the exam talks about. The comprehensible input, I+1, students' language in the classroom, categorizing learners' mistakes, teacher roles, and classroom management, grouping learners, correcting learners, giving feedback. So this is what Module 3 assesses. All three modules are around 80 minutes long, so it's 1 hour and 20 minutes, and they have 80 questions. You have to be careful because some of the questions are you take more time on those questions than on the other ones. There are papers you tend to finish earlier than other ones. So paper 1, you have a multiple choice type of test, so it tends to go a little bit faster. And also, paper 2, you tend to spend a little more time because it is lesson planning. So you have to read and reread and reread and reread and so on and so forth. And I think that, in my personal opinion, Module 2 is one of the hardest ones because during the course I took the prep course, and my tutor gave me feedback that that was the one I should work on, and I just really, really focused on that. And then in the end, I just got my highest grade was in Module 2. Something important we should talk about is how the test is graded. There are 4 possible ways to grade the test. It's for bends: band 1, band 2, band 3, and band 4. Band 1 is limited or almost no knowledge on that specific module, because the modules are graded independently. It's not a general grade. It's 1 by 1. Band 2 is not that limited, but you're not. If you get a module, if you get a Band 2, I recommend you study more and sit the exam again. You should get at least a Band 3. Band 3 is what's considered reasonable, acceptable. Band 3 is a good grade. And Band 4, if you get a Band 4, it shows that you have extensive knowledge in that area, in that module, which focuses in a specific area. So surprisingly, the module I had the most difficulties with, which was Module 2, was the one I got the highest grade. That was the one I got Band 4. So I think it was because I devoted a lot of time on that, and this came as a result. Now, I would like to make some recommendations about the exam, which I think this is the moment where we'll have the cultural clashes between, based on what I heard, what I talked to the BrELT, to the other BrELT moderators, is that in São Paulo, people tend to take the test. They tend to take the course before sitting the exam. And I think this is extremely important for a number of reasons. First, one of them, you get familiar with the vocabulary you're going to face in the exam. Also, not only that, but you'll be able to share your ideas with a tutor and kind of be guided through the modules. So this is really helpful. When I took my course here in São Paulo, I took it at International House. I had this fantastic tutor, and he was super caring and super supportive. But nowadays, International House doesn't offer the course here in São Paulo anymore. So I know that 7 offers the course, Cultura Inglesa, if I'm not mistaken, Contabilidade e Idiomas offers the course, which, by the way, the tutors are fantastic. I especially from Contabilidade e Idiomas because I know them, and they are great friends of mine. But in general, what I recommend is that you do take the course. Not only this, before you decide where you're taking it, you should try to ask how the course is organized, because some of the courses don't include teaching practices, and I think that this is something that we really should look for when we look at the TKT prep course. Won't be CELTA-like class presentations, but it will give you a chance to work on lesson planning in a more practical way, so in a hands-on way, which I think is fantastic. And also give you the chance of really seeing what you've really put in practice, what you saw in theory, regarding language systems and skills, and especially presentation techniques, because the TKT requires you know the difference between PPP, TTT, and TBL. So this 3 different class frameworks, and studying and reading, it might not be as clear to you as if it would be if you actually prepared the class, if you wrote a lesson plan on that and presented a class and got feedback from your peers and from your tutor mainly. So this is something you should look for when you're deciding where to go. Also, another recommendation I'd like to give you is that there is, you can download it from the Cambridge website. It's some sort of a dictionary. The name has just run out of my mind. For teaching jargons and abbreviations, which is really, really, really important in the TKT. So, for example, there will be a question in there talking about Lexis. So if you're not familiar that Lexis is vocabulary, is a synonym for vocabulary, you might get that question wrong because you're not familiar with that. Also, CCQs, ICQs, all those very specific teaching jargons are really, really, really important. Also, the mock test, this is a downside on the TKT. The mock tests available online are super duper not updated. They are from the latest one I could find was 2007, 2008. So we don't really have updated mock tests. So if anyone from Cambridge is watching this webinar, I would like to beg them to make more mock tests available, more simple tests available from past exams, so we can practice more. And this is one of the problems for you as a teacher trainer. If you're watching the webinar and you're willing to become a teacher trainer, on that. So it's something you should worry about. Yeah? Also, talking a little bit for those who are willing to become teacher trainers for the TKT. There's also an activity book from the TKT course book. So it is a nice tool to have for you to prepare your input sessions. Well, I think I've said everything I had planned to. Probably I forgot. Thanks, because I'm still nervous, and I hope everything I said could really your idea of what the TKT is about. And I believe we can open for questions and answers now.
Thank you very much, Eduardo. People have liked it. Some are saying that they kept their minds and they're taking the TKT this year. So your talk must have been very convincing, which is definitely, it was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ricardo Barros is asking, do you have the title of the TKT activity book?
I might. Just give me a second. I can give you that in a second. Let me just check. It is TKT,
yes,
the TKT course, training activities from Joanne Welling. I'll type this in the chat box.
TKT, could you repeat the title, please?
Yeah, I'll type it. I'm typing it at the chat box.
So the TKT course training activities, I'm repeating because those on YouTube cannot read the chat box. So
okay,
the TKT course training activities,
by
and the name of the author?
Joanne Welling. It's Joanne Welling. Joanne Welling.
Could you please stop screen sharing for a moment?
Oh, sure.
And Marcela Sintra in the chat room, she mentioned that Cultura Inglesa São Paulo also offers the course. And Karen Galvão said that she took the online TKT. However, the computer-based TKT has been discontinued for lack of demand. And so, like you said, nowadays you can only take the paper-based TKT.
Okay. There were also two modules of the TKT that were discontinued in 2016. One of them is the knowledge about language, the CAL module, KAL, and the practical TKT. So this was also discontinued. So that's why we only have the 3 core modules and the 2 specialist modules now.
Tiago, would you like to report that question? I've got 2 questions from YouTube.
Yeah, sure. We have a very interesting question here from Marcos Moreira. I'd like to start with this question. Edu, would you recommend taking the TKT before taking the CELTA?
I totally agree with that. I totally support that, because I think that the TKT gave me a fantastic background to take the CELTA, because I could get an idea mainly about classroom management, because when the tutors talked about ICQs, CCQs, and board work, phonology also, I had an idea of how things were, especially because I could really relate to what I had seen before. So yes, I do recommend you take the TKT before the CELTA. especially because the CELTA has this magic of putting all the walls you've built down. Everything you've done in your whole life, when you get to the CELTA, you just find out that you've done it wrong all along. So the TKT will give you an idea.
Awesome. Ricardo Barros also has a question. And how did taking the TKT influence your classroom teaching?
Well, I can say that the TKT was the first teaching training I took part in. And before that, I would do only instinctively. I would teach only instinctively by doing things the way I think it would work. But the TKT gave me an idea of stages mainly. How should I start my lesson? What should I do in the presentation stage, and how should I go to the other stages? Not as deep as the CELTA goes, but I could plan my lesson in a more following a pattern, a standard. I think that this was the main advantage. And again, also all the features of classroom management that I had the chance to put in practice during the course I took back in International Housing 2010, I guess, 2011, if I'm not mistaken, when there was International Housing São Paulo, but not anymore. And I could really see that, see this development in me.
Karen Galvan also said that iStudy offers some prep lessons for the TKT, as well as having, like you mentioned, Cultura Inglesa, etc.
Okay.
Cultura Inglesa São Paulo. There are more questions, right, Thiago?
Yes, there are two people who are asking for self-study books.
Yes, there are. There is actually the TKT course book. This one here. It's from Mary Spratt, Alan Puvnes, and Melanie Williams. So you can find it pretty much anywhere. This has the modules 1, 2, and 3 included. So make sure you get the correct one, because there are some books that don't include the 3 modules. And also this book, the self-study book, it's not a self-study book. It's more of a reference book, because when I took the course, to tell you the truth, my tutor didn't really use that book. And when I give the course to the teachers in the school I work for, I don't use the book either in class. I mean, during input sessions, I use the book a lot when I prepare my classes, but in the lesson I don't. So it's more of a reference book. So what I recommend is that if you decide to take the course, today your tutor talked about the 4 skills, the language skills. So you should go on when you get home, get your book, read that, highlight what is important, and then you move on to the next topic. It's a very nice reference material to have. And if you're, of course, planning to do some self-study and take the exam, this is vital. Something you must have.
Wonderful, Edu. And Sociedade do Inglês from YouTube asked about doing the TKT before the CELTA, which you already said that you recommend, and you explained why. And they asked if that is a sequence, which is something that Alberto mentioned earlier on in his talk, but if you don't mind talking about that again.
Definitely, yeah. Well, we should not see the TKT and the CELTA because to take the CELTA, there is no requirement such as you need to have the TKT. It is. I can say that by Cambridge English, no, it's not a sequence. You should, both of them are considered initial trainings and pre-service trainings. But the difference is that the TKT is a test. It's only a test. If you don't, of course, take the prep course. And the CELT is very practical. It is the ways of assessment is different, completely different. So the TKT, there is a test that you might take the course or not. You just go sign up for the test and sit the exam. And the CELTA is completely different. So it is not a sequence. But if you have the opportunity of taking the TKT before the CELTA, it will give you an amazing background, definitely.
All right. I don't think we have any other questions. Let me just, give it a second look here on YouTube. No, we don't have any questions. Any other questions? So I do thank you very much for the wonderful talk. I am sure people have a better understanding now of the TKT. And could you tell them a little bit more about the certificates for the sessions?
Definitely, yeah. Before talking about the certificates, I would like to talk to you about BrESTISOL, which is the t-shirt I'm wearing. The more we are, the stronger we become. BrESTISOL is an association for Brazilian English teachers, and they offer incredible benefits if you are a member. It's, if I'm not wrong, 85 reais a year, and you receive newsletters, you get to know about the events that are being held throughout the country by the local chapters and the special interest groups. And also, if you're on Facebook, please like BrESTISOL page and really, let's fight for that, because it's our profession. It's an organization that speaks for all of us. And also, if you're on Facebook, like the Teacher Development SIG page, which is the special interest group I'm part of. We have events throughout the country as well. So become a member, yeah, and let's support this amazing association that we have in Brazil grow even more than it has grown for the past years. Talking a little bit about the certificate, if you attended Alberto's session, it's pretty much the same. You have to fill in a form. So you access bit.ly/Cambridge_TKT, and you complete you just fill in with your name and your email address, and you'll be notified when the certificate is available. We will post a link to a Google Drive folder, and you'll be able to download the certificate from there. The deadline for this certificates, for all the certificates to be available, is February 25th. So we have time to do all that. It's important to highlight that all we do is volunteer work, and it's a volunteer work that sometimes takes more time than our actual work. So that's why we gave this very long deadline for us to be able to provide the certificate for you.
Yeah, but bear in mind that you need to fill it in today, now, immediately after the talk, because then we'll discontinue the link, okay? So fill it in now, and then you will receive the certificate within a month. And repeating the link, bit.ly, so ly/Cambridge, Cambridge in lowercase, _TKT in uppercase, okay? There was a question on YouTube about acronyms that I've used that the person didn't know what they meant, but it wasn't clear at one moment. So TKT means Teaching Knowledge Test. I think you mentioned CAEL, which is knowledge about language, right? The paper that has been discontinued. mentioned ICQs and CCQs, which are acronyms that you can learn more about if you study for the TKT. And they mean instruct checking questions. Is it that right, Eduardo? And CCQs, concept checking questions. I don't know if you've used any other acronyms. Do you remember?
Not really. Well, I think that was, yeah, I think that was all.
Sociedade do Inglês is asking if the TKT is before CELTA is more recommended. That was what Eduardo meant, but of course it's not needed, right? It's not a requirement.
Not at all.
But that's what he recommends. So you can see now his contact details, and well, I can see that everybody's helping each other here on YouTube. They're even thinking of creating a study group for the TKT, which is brilliant. That's what BrELT is all about. And I'd like to ask you to help us now, BrELT moderators, because Facebook has gone down. So we cannot, Facebook has crashed for all the moderators, and we cannot announce the link through Facebook as we've been doing. The link to the next talk is much like the other ones, bit.ly/ I think it's Rick Barros. Let me check here. Yes. No, sorry. bit.ly/YT in capital letters, and then Rick Barros in lowercase. Okay. Is that okay? Do I need to repeat, guys? Has everybody copied it?
Yes, Natalia. Can you repeat that so that I can reply on YouTube?
bit.ly, so bit.ly, right, /YT in capital letters, and then Rick Barros, Rick, R-I-C, Rick Barros in lowercase. If you log in on YouTube, we're also going to share the Google Hangout link. We cannot share it now because there are only 10 spaces here. And if I do that, we risk not having the speaker in the room. So when the YouTube recording starts, then we're going to share the link to the room. People have been showering you, Edu, with compliments.
Thank you.
So thank you for a lovely talk.
Thank you very much.
Anything else, moderators?
Well, I think that's it. And we wait for you guys at 11:30 to hear about the CELTA course.
Yes. See you later.
See you later.
See you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.